What if I told you that in one of the most hyper-modern, technologically driven cities on Earth, teenagers and university students are voluntarily waking up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning just to, drink tea with their grandparents?
Well, it sounds completely counterintuitive when you frame it that way. You usually expect the weekend mornings in a huge metropolis to belong entirely to the older generation, while the younger crowd, well, they sleep in.
Right. It really does sound strange, but this specific city operates on a completely different cultural rhythm.
It absolutely does.
Today, we are heading to southern China, specifically to Guangzhou, the massive, vibrant capital of Guangdong province. And we have a really fascinating stack of sources in front of us today.
We do. We are pulling from travel guides, culinary history essays, and some incredibly practical linguistic cheat sheets.
Yeah.
And our mission today is a dual one. We're going to unpack these sources to give you a deep cultural understanding of this city. But at the same time, this deep dive is a language practice session. We know many of you listening are English learners, so we are going to speak at a slower, steady, deliberate pace. We will articulate our words clearly, and we will leave natural pauses so you can truly digest the information and the vocabulary.
We want you to feel relaxed, like we are just two friends sharing a vivid travel experience with you. Okay, let's unpack this. I want you to imagine arriving in Guangzhou for the very first time.
Okay, I am picturing it.
If you look at our travel dispatches, the first thing that hits you when you step off the plane is the air. It is subtropical, it is warm, and it just wraps around you.
The visual landscape is a striking contrast, too. You are looking at towering, futuristic skyscrapers, some of the most advanced architecture in the world.
Oh, definitely.
But right at the base of those glass towers, the streets are filled with massive, colorful displays of fresh flowers. It is famously known as the Flower City.
It is so beautiful, but beyond the flowers and the skyscrapers, there is a core identity to the city that dominates all of our research.
Right, the food.
Yes, there is a famous local saying that acts as the ultimate guiding principle, and that saying is, eating in Guangzhou.
It is a bold declaration. It essentially signifies that this city is the undisputed food capital of China. And when they say that, they are specifically talking about Cantonese cuisine.
To claim you have the best food in a country as massive as China is, well, it is a huge flex.
Oh, absolutely.
But the culinary history essays explain exactly why this claim holds up. Geographically, Guangzhou sits on the Pearl River Delta. Historically, this gave them access to incredibly fresh, abundant agriculture and seafood,
Which fundamentally shaped their cooking philosophy. Unlike other regions that might use heavy spices to mask ingredients, Cantonese cuisine is entirely about highlighting the fresh flavor of the ingredient itself. You do not hide the shrimp, you elevate the shrimp.
I love that. And that brings us back to those teenagers waking up early on a Saturday.
Yes, the 8 o'clock ritual.
Right. Our sources point out that this culinary philosophy is best experienced at 8 in the morning. Now, I have to push back a little on this timeline. Well, 8 o'clock on a weekend seems like a very awkward time. It is too late for a quick weekday breakfast, but it feels way too early to be out actively socializing at a restaurant.
I see what you mean. If you view it through a Western lens of just a quick breakfast, it definitely feels awkward. But our sources highlight that this is not just breakfast.
What is it then?
This is morning tea. And the food that accompanies it is called dim sum.
Dim sum. Now, when I hear dim sum, I generally just picture small plates. In my mind, it is essentially a bunch of appetizers. Why would a teenager wake up early for just appetizers?
Because classifying dim sum as just appetizers completely misses the sociology of the event.
Really?
Yeah, the traditional tea house in Guangzhou is the primary social fabric of the community. When a family goes to a tea house, they are claiming a large round table.
Oh, I
The
see.
grandparents are reading the newspaper, the parents are discussing their week, and the younger generation is actively engaged in this shared ritual. It bridges the generations.
So it is the ultimate anchor point for a family. In a city moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, driven by modern tech, that morning tea is the one space where the whole family unplugs together.
Precisely. It is a loud, happy, bustling environment. You hear the clatter of porcelain plates, you see the steam rising from bamboo baskets. You go for the food, but you really stay for the connection.
Okay, I am mentally seated at the table now. The atmosphere sounds incredible.
It really is.
But if we are in the food capital, I want to understand the actual food hitting the table. Our travel guides list an overwhelming variety of options.
They do. Savory chicken wings, delicate rice noodle rolls, beautifully fluffy sweet buns.
It sounds like a feast. But across all our culinary sources, there is one dish that is universally recognized as the ultimate test of a chef's skill.
Ah, yes. The steamed shrimp dumpling.
Exactly, the har gao. I saw this everywhere in the notes. But the distinguishing feature of this dumpling isn't actually the shrimp inside, it is the wrapper.
Yes. The dough is described as being incredibly thin and translucent. Translucency is the goal here, meaning it lets the light pass through just enough so that you can actually see the pink hue of the shrimp sitting inside the dough.
But why is that specific detail the ultimate test of a chef? Why does a translucent wrapper matter so much?
It comes down to the physics of the dough. Har gao wrappers are made from a mix of wheat starch and tapioca flour, not just regular wheat flour.
Okay.
This gives them that beautiful glassive appearance when steamed. But it also means the dough has very little elasticity. It is incredibly fragile.
So it is a culinary tightrope walk. If the chef rolls the dough too thick, it feels heavy in your mouth, which ruins the delicate flavor of the shrimp.
Right.
But if they roll it too thin, the wrapper will simply disintegrate and break open while it is steaming in the basket.
Exactly. To achieve a wrapper that is translucent enough to show the shrimp, yet structurally sound enough that it does not break when you pick it up with your chopsticks, that requires years of meticulous practice.
Oh, wow. You are basically eating an architectural marvel.
You really are.
So we have these brilliant dumplings, but let's look at the other half of the equation, which is the tea.
Of course.
We are at a morning tea house. The tables are covered in pots of pu'er, jasmine, and tiguanian tea. My question is, why such a heavy emphasis on hot tea? Is it just a warm beverage to wash the food down?
What's fascinating here is that the tea is far more functional than that. In Cantonese dining, the tea plays an active chemical role in your meal. It physically cleans your palate between dishes.
Cleans your palate, meaning it resets your sense of taste.
Exactly.
I like to think of it like a mild natural detergent. When you eat something rich and savory, like a steamed pork rib, those heavy fats and oils coat the inside of your mouth.
That's a perfect analogy. The tannins in the hot tea chemically bind to those lingering oils and wash them away.
Oh, I get it now.
If you want to transition from that savory pork rib to a delicate, sweet lotus seed bun, you don't want the flavors mixing. The tea wipes the slate clean, so your palate is fresh for the next flavor.
That is brilliant. It maximizes the flavor of every single bite.
It really does.
So, we have eaten the har gao, we have cleansed our palate with jasmine tea, and now it is time to pay the bill. And our sources point out a jarring reality here.
Yes, the payment method.
You are sitting in this noisy, deeply traditional room, participating in a ritual that hasn't changed in centuries. But when the server brings the bill, you don't hand them ancient coins.
No, you do not. You might not even hand them cash or a credit card. In modern Guangzhou, the vast majority of transactions are completely digital.
Right.
You simply pull out your smartphone and scan a QR code sitting right there on the table. It is used for absolutely everything.
It is a wild juxtaposition, a centuries-old culinary art form entirely gated by modern software. You scan a code to pay for an ancient tradition.
It is a striking image.
But I have to admit, if I am a beginner traveler reading through these guides, navigating all of this, the bustling tea house, the delicate menus, the digital payments, it feels slightly intimidating.
Well, that is a completely rational response to stepping into a new culture. But our guides emphasize one very comforting fact. The local people in Guangzhou are exceptionally hospitable.
That is good to hear.
The tea house is a communal space. If you look a bit lost, the locals or the servers will absolutely step in to help you order.
Thank goodness, because no one wants to travel all that way and miss out on the har gao.
Definitely not.
And that perfectly transitions us into the second part of our mission today. We have explored the history and the science of the food. Now we are going to extract the specific English vocabulary from our linguistic notes.
Yes, so you can confidently talk about this experience.
As promised, we are going to keep our pace very steady here. We have identified 5 essential vocabulary words and 5 core sentences.
Listen closely. We will leave space for you to practice.
Let's walk through these conversationally, but with a real focus on clear pronunciation. I will start. Our first essential concept is the meal itself. Dim sum.
Dim sum. This is the term for the small plates of food traditionally served in bamboo baskets with tea.
And the sentence to anchor this in your memory is, dim sum is a Cantonese tradition.
Let's pause so you can practice that. Dim sum is a Cantonese tradition.
Excellent. It is a great way to introduce the meal to someone who has never had it. Now, moving to the cooking method, our second word is steamed.
Steamed. This is crucial because it differentiates the food from being fried in oil. Cooking with hot water vapor gives the food its soft texture. Steamed.
And we apply it directly to our star dish in this sentence. Hargao are steamed shrimp dumplings.
Let's hear you say it. Hargao are steamed shrimp dumplings.
Our third word is the one we spent time unpacking earlier regarding the chef's skill. Translucent.
Translucent, meaning it allows light to pass through, but you can still see the shadow and color of what is inside.
It is a very sophisticated word, translucent, and the sentence to practice is, the wrapper must be thin and translucent.
Give it a try. The wrapper must be thin and translucent.
When you say that, you are immediately communicating the high quality of the food.
Absolutely. Our fourth word relates to your sense of taste and the function of the tea. Palate.
Palate. It practically means your ability to taste distinct flavors. Palate.
The anchor sentence here is, tea cleans your palate between dishes.
This is a fantastic sentence because it explains the why behind the tea. Tea cleans your palate between dishes.
Finally, our fifth word captures the essence of the entire gathering. Traditional.
Traditional, following the customs that have been passed down through generations. Traditional.
And our final core sentence sets the schedule. 8 o'clock is dim sum time in Guangzhou.
It is simple, but it establishes the cultural rhythm. 8 o'clock is dim sum time in Guangzhou.
Those 5 sentences give you a very solid descriptive foundation. But there is a specific phrase you used a moment ago that we should highlight for our English learners.
Oh, which one?
You said, thank goodness, when you realized the locals would help you.
Oh, right. Thank goodness.
Yes. Thank goodness is a very natural conversational way to express relief when a stressful situation is resolved.
It really is. It is much more natural than just saying, I am relieved, thank goodness.
Exactly.
And speaking of natural, practical phrases, our linguistic cheat sheets contain what I consider the absolute golden key for any beginner traveler.
The ultimate bypass to a language barrier.
Yes. If you are sitting in that bustling tea house and you see a basket on the table next to you filled with something incredible, but you cannot read the menu, you don't need to panic.
No panic required.
You just point and you ask one simple question. What are they called?
What are they called? It immediately invites the server or the person next to you to educate you. It turns a moment of not knowing into a moment of connection.
It is a lifesaver. What do they call? Okay, so we know how to describe the food and we know how to ask for names.
Now let's look at the final section of our linguistic sources, the survival phrases.
These are the 5 highly practical questions you need to actually navigate eating in Guangzhou.
These are the structural pillars of dining out. Let's start with the approach. When you look at a massive menu, ask, what is your recommendation for dim sum?
I love that phrase. By asking, what is your recommendation for dim sum? You are telling the server that you trust their expertise.
Precisely. The second survival phrase is about managing your budget. You need to know, how much is a table of dim sum?
This is vital because pricing can be tricky. It is often priced by the size of the small plates, like small, medium, or large.
Right. So asking, how much is a table of dim sum helps you establish a baseline cost before the food piles up.
Our third question is crucial for anyone with specific eating habits. In a cuisine that uses a lot of pork and seafood, you must know how to ask, do you have vegetarian dim sum?
Even if a dish looks like just vegetables, it might be cooked in animal fat or have dried shrimp hidden inside.
So asking clearly, do you have vegetarian dim sum, ensures you are respecting your own dietary boundaries.
The fourth phrase deals with the reality of a busy weekend morning. You can't always just walk in. You need to ask, can we reserve a table for 4?
Can we reserve a table for 4? The tea houses are packed. Knowing how to book ahead saves you from waiting on the street for 2 hours.
And finally, a simple, direct question. Is there an English menu?
Is there an English menu? Many large places in Guangzhou will have one, often with pictures, which removes a massive layer of anxiety.
These phrases form a very protective toolkit for a traveler. But I sense a bit of hesitation from you.
Well, I have to confess, yes. We have the vocabulary and we have the survival phrases. But I still have this lingering fear.
What is it?
What if I travel all the way to southern China, I try my absolute best in English, and I still somehow manage to order the wrong thing?
If we connect this to the bigger picture laid out in our culinary essays, I can guarantee you one comforting truth. You simply cannot go wrong.
Wait, really? You don't think there's a bad order on a dim sum menu?
There genuinely is not, because every single dish represents generations of meticulous refinement.
Even if I mispronounce a word.
Yes. Even if you end up with steamed chicken feet or a plate of sweet egg tarts, every dish is a masterclass in flavor. A mistake is just an opportunity to taste a masterpiece you didn't plan for.
A mistake is just an opportunity to taste a masterpiece.
Wow.
That completely reframes the anxiety of travel. The goal isn't to be perfect, the goal is simply to participate.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean? It means you are absolutely ready. You understand that Guangzhou is deeply rooted in its agricultural history.
You know why the city proudly claims the title of Eating in Guangzhou. And you understand that 8 o'clock morning tea is the vital social fabric of the community.
You understand the incredible skill required to make a translucent shrimp dumpling. You know exactly how the hot tea acts as a palate cleanser.
And most importantly, for our language learners, you now have the clear English vocabulary to navigate it all. You know how to ask for recommendations and how to express your relief with a quick, thank goodness.
Which brings us to our specific challenge for you, the listener. We want you to actively use the toolkit we just built.
Imagine right now that you are sitting at a round table in a bustling dim sum restaurant in Guangzhou. The server approaches.
We want you to write 3 sentences in English detailing exactly what you want to order.
Put the practice into action. For example, you could write, I want to try har gao. I want rice noodle rolls. I want a pot of jasmine tea.
Build your own custom order and drop those 3 sentences in the comments for us to read. It is the perfect way to solidify the concepts we explored today.
It is your first step into the tea house. But before we sign off, we always like to leave you with a final thought to mull over.
Something that builds on the incredible sources we unpacked today.
Yes, I want you to consider the brilliant, almost jarring intersection of time that you experience at a morning tea in Guangzhou.
What do you mean by that?
When you sit down at 8 o'clock, the physical mechanics of the room, the bamboo steamers, the boiling water, the gathering of generations sharing food that is operating almost exactly as it did hundreds of years ago. It is an ancient analog tradition.
Right. It is deeply rooted in the past.
But the moment the meal ends, you don't interact with the past. You pull out a supercomputer and settle the transaction instantly via a digital QR code over a modern cellular network.
That is profound. A centuries-old human connection, entirely facilitated by hyper-modern digital infrastructure, the past and the future, sharing the exact same small plate.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the warm, delicious, and fascinating world of Guangzhou.
We hope you walk away feeling culturally informed, linguistically confident, and definitely a little bit hungry.
Keep practicing those phrases slowly and clearly. Have a wonderful trip, whether you are boarding a plane tomorrow or just traveling in your imagination for now. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.